outside India. So therefore, not only number of engineers available is not good enough, the number of people who are going to be hired is not good enough, which is going to lead to us the fact that Indian engineering population was a competitive advantage, and we invested in it, we trained them, and they continue to deliver huge amount of growth. That is going to be significantly questioned in the coming years. Salary at entry level over the last 10 years has grown by 27%, whereas recession has increased by 116%. That means the net salary of a fresh engineer has gone down by 7% year on year. If that is happening, the attractiveness of Indian IT is reducing with each passing year, and the best and brightest are not going to join Indian IT. And therefore, we can keep the cost of engineers, entry-level engineers, at a low cost to try and keep short-term margins intact. But on a long-term basis, we are not going to get the best minds of Indian young people coming into IT industry, and therefore, this has to be looked at very, very carefully. So that was what I call the people crisis. Then there is a leadership crisis. The entire Indian IT industry was based on a premise of industrial revolution, of the fact that if we can put systems and processes, standardization, so that we can deliver something which was being delivered onshore, we can deliver it offshore, we can deliver at a higher quality, we can deliver it at predictable levels of defect, compared to what was being done on site, and we can deliver it at a lower cost. But high quality, predictability, efficiency, timeliness, and cost, those were the efficiency indicators. And therefore, most of our senior managers and middle managers have, over the last 2 decades, been what I call industrial managers. Managers who understand efficiency, managers who understand managing. But the world is changing. The business is changing. People don't want to be managed, and neither the companies want their legacy systems to be managed. They want new ideas, they want new creation, they want digital to be used to try and dramatically increase their revenue or stop from going dead. In that circumstances, the middle management of Indian IT, how does it move away from the thinking around managing matrices and managing industrial matrices, grade processes, to creating new? So we have a leadership crisis of where do we get these leaders? Forget about technology capability. It is just to have meaningful conversations moving away from efficiency into transformation and creating value. So that's a third crisis we have. The fourth crisis we have is what I call the environmental crisis, where everybody wants to be American, buy American, be European, buy European. So the whole globalization, which is the premise, C.K. Prahlad used to come to Bangalore and talk extensively to us about globalization, which was the genesis of in the Indian IT industry, that is being threatened. So from globalization, we are becoming localization. And the response to that localization is Indian IT setting up centers in US, in Europe. Yeah, that's all fine, but that's all short term. What's a long-term strategic differentiation for us? So the environment is dramatically changing, and therefore we have, our response cannot be a Me Too response. It is like EDS and HP and Capgemini and all those companies. Capgemini is different. EDS, HP wanting to come and set up centers in India. They could never ever compete with Indian IT. The Wipros, the Infosys, the HCLs, the Tech Mahindras, the TCS, can beat them sleeping, predominantly because they will do it better. So the same is true that setting up centers in US and Europe is a necessary condition, but not a sufficient condition to create a differentiation. So the fourth is the environmental crisis and the environment challenge. And the fifth is innovation. We have not learned to innovate. How do you innovate? Now that is, so therefore it is very important, is for one of the reasons a lot of these manufacturing companies in India could not migrate and become IT services company, and the five big guys of Indian IT came out from nowhere and set up their startup companies and grew them to multi-billion dollars, where the old manufacturing leaders of India could not get into IT services with success, although they tried, is predominantly because the mindset required is different. Now the mindset and the structure and the organization which is required to leverage the 5 technology trends which I'm talking about is innovation. What is the structure of innovation in the organization? How do we do grassroots innovation? How do we ideate? How do we get the ideas up? How do we get everybody to ideate? How do we create an environment which is not process-centric? How do we create more time? So many organizations, you heard about Google giving up 2 hours for every employee to experiment, was done a decade ago. So all the organizations or Facebook, all the innovations which are on organization management, on leadership, were all done 10 years ago. So when we talk about innovation in Indian IT, where are those management practices? Where are those structures? Where are those processes? Where is our Six Sigma? Where is our CMM level 5 equivalent on innovation? Where is that same passion we demonstrated to get all our centers CMM 5? We are the biggest CMM 5 industry in the world. Same passion has to be demonstrated to get innovation going. And that is missing, and therefore that is what I call the fifth crisis, which is the innovation crisis.